Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the November Southport Symposium. It is also our final installment of the 2023 series. So thank you all for participating over the last year with us in this new project. We've really enjoyed it. We think it's been super informational for our community members, our residents, and also for our staff to be able to have that new dialogue with everyone. For those of you who haven't been here before, because I see some new faces, my name is Cheyenne. I am the Public Information Officer for the City of Southport, and this is our public services, part of our public services department. So what we'll do is after I bring our Director of Public Services up, he will introduce himself and give an overview of the department, and then we'll go through each of their roles, and then after everybody has introduced themselves and given what they do, then we'll open up for a Q&A session. How that will go is you'll just raise your hand. You don't have to come up to the podium. I will bring a microphone to you so that way that the folks back home can see you as well or can hear your question as well, and then we'll go from there. So without further ado, Mr. Stanley, take it away.
Good afternoon. I'm glad we got a full house, standing room only today. Well, I'm Tom Stanley. I'm the loosely termed Public Service Director for City of Southport. I also like to call ourselves the Execution Department because we're the ones who get all the moving pieces and parts and fix and break things all collectively. When something needs done, we're the ones who get the call to get the work done for the most part. By all means, if you're sick or hurt or someone's trying to abduct you, that's 911, not public services. Everything else pretty much outside of admin is public service department. Again, Tom Stanley, I'm glad you guys came. I do not like talking about myself or my department. If there was a specific topic, I'd love to talk to you about it, so just bear with me. In public services, we have many departments. A lot of places just have in public utilities or public works where they just have utilities, but we have many departments. We have the custodial services that service and do the cleaning and of all city buildings and city restrooms. We have the city garage, which maintains all the city fleet from each department: fire department, police department, our department, parks and rec, and all the others. Facility maintenance. We have a small group of people who go through and do all the maintenance on any city facility. That goes as well as the parks as well. We have our electrical department. Our electrical superintendent is here in the red, Ellie Pittenger. He'll talk to you about his roles as the electrical superintendent and the projects we have going on throughout the city now and future. Our water and sewer and streets department, which is Mike Spicer at the end. He's also our fall program administrator, which he'll talk to you about. His crew is the one who go out and do the water and sewer repairs or street repairs or sidewalk repairs or put out barricades or whatever else needs to be done. Then we have our distribution, which is our water distribution. Our water distribution operator in charge is Mark Caven. He'll tell you about his job with the metering and water sampling and state reporting. We have our cross connection. Anybody who has an irrigation system or high health hazard, should have a cross connection device. And Justin Taylor, JT, he is the ORC there. He's going to talk to you about himself. We have David Kelly at the end, or not next to the end. He's our ground supervisor. He's over making sure the city grounds are kept up. And city right-of-ways. Anything needs to be maintained as far as grounds and right-of-ways, including the parks. Although we're not in the parks department, we are the executioners inside the park when directed to do so and routinely. And our big toe, Jackie Smith. See, he's the big toe of the public service department because, from what I understand, if you cut your big toe off, you cannot operate. Jackie is the real public service director, and she is more or less the den mother of 27 guys, including the 2 engineers who don't necessarily work with for public services, but they are in our department. And that would be Tom Zilnick. He's one of our city engineers. He has actually probably been him and Bob Jarvis, who couldn't be here today, he has probably been one of the best additions the city could have ever possibly had in who knows how long. He's brought a bunch of knowledge and a bunch of experience and a bunch of needed services to the city. But and again, I think I've told you a whole lot about public services. So I'm sure you guys will have questions for me, but for now, I'm going to turn things over to the big toe, which is Jackie Smith, and she can tell you about her role as the administrative assistant for public services.
Thank you, Tom. Well, I'm Jackie Smith, and I'm the one that moves the paperwork around for all this that he just talked about. I do the payroll for them and get it all set to go for final payment that's a multiple daily thing. Process invoices. I also receive all the locates from the 811 no dig. They come into emails. I got to process them to our locate operator. Work orders come in mostly through emails, or they're faxed over from City Hall, and we process those to the water sewer guys, or to the electricians, or to the building and grounds, wherever they're needed. Then they can take care of the work. I also do a lot of budget POs, and I help Ellie with a multi-million-dollar electric budget, and and processing the POs, and I do a lot of blanket POs and for all the stuff that we just do monthly all the time. And then I do contracts when needed. For when they're over a certain amount, we have to write contracts. And I think that's about it. And on to the next.
Move down the line to Mark Caven.
Hey, I'm Mark. I'm the distribution ORC for City of Southport. To kind of sum up what I do, it's a lot of the samplings. If you see us running fire hydrants, we do take daily samples at 5 different fire hydrants, Monday through Friday. Then we have samples that we take monthly, quarterly, and yearly. And the lead and copper, I'm sure you've seen us this year doing that, was every 3 years that we do that. Outside of that, we do a lot of the metering. So if you see us in your yard, don't be alarmed. We're just checking out meters, making sure that they're working correctly. We work hand in hand with the billing department, making sure all the bills are lined up to what they're supposed to be. I work with Justin every day. He's going to tell you about what he does, but he helps out with a lot of this too. It's been nice having him. But yes, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them after everybody else is done with their presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Justin Taylor. I'm the Cross Connect operator in responsible charge. In my role, I inspect backflows that are newly installed throughout the city, and also operate those ones that are in city limits that the city owns. NC state law requires us to have a Cross Connect ORC if there are more than 5 backflow assemblies within city limits. So I assume that role. I ensure adherence to state and local regulations. I manage both technical and administrative tasks, communicate with contractors, property owners to meet regulatory requirements. I provide support education for businesses, residents, when a new backflow has been installed. I oversee our backflow tester list that's available on our website. I ensure that they have the proper testing and licenses. That way we kind of protect our residents. I'm sure you have questions. We're about to answer those at the end. Thank you.
Before I turn it over to the city engineer, he'll talk about several of our projects we have going on in the city, but I want to kind of, now that that's back to me, I just want to talk about a few we have going on. We do have this fall's paving project that should take place in the next 2 or 3 weeks. A couple of the worst areas in town. Yes, I do understand there are other places in town that will need some work in the coming years, but there were several really severe spots that will be taken care of this year, and those are North Caswell Avenue between 10th and 11th Street, 2 sides of Lord Street on both sides of 9th Street between 8th and 9th and 9th and 10th Street. We have a really bad section of Yopon Drive and Park Avenue Extension. Those are the worst roads in town, other than the downtown area, which our city engineer will talk to you about that. Also, we have as you guys probably know and have seen, we have a I&I study going on right now, which is includes smoke testing. We have a contractor, we have a consultant who's heading up the project, but we have a contractor out right now doing smoke testing around town. They're blowing smoke into the sewer. So there's a whole saying for that as well, but they're blowing smoke into the sewer, and they're looking for any place that the smoke will seep through the ground. That'll indicate a break in the line. It'll come out through manholes and cleanouts as well. Broken cleanouts or missing cleanouts, or even through the screw holes or the cleanouts. We have that project going on. That also consists of flow testing, flow metering inside some manholes, which has been really dry for the past month that they've been in the ground. So luckily, we had a little bit of rain last night, and what that does is there's a meter that goes inside the sewer line, and it detects the flow coming through, and really at nighttime when people are most people are sleeping, not everybody's nocturnal. If it picks up high flows, that's typically from inflow and infiltration, I&I. We have that study going on as well. And as soon as they're through with the smoke testing, which should be done in the next week or so, they're smoke testing 60,000 linear feet of city sewer system. And everybody who's interested, we have maps over here on the table. I'll be glad to look at with you after the presentation that's showing where the smoke testing is. Also, that same 60,000 feet, they'll be doing CCTV, and that's where they put a little robot camera inside the sewer line that'll pick up anything that the smoke testing did not. It'll also verify the areas of problem areas in the smoke, where in the sewer line. Those are the major projects we have going on top of daily operations and projects we have, we work on for the budget cycles. So now I'll turn it over to our city engineer, Tom Z.
Tom Zelnick, I'm the city engineer. A couple of the projects that I'm working on right now that are major projects in town. We have a sewer main replacement project that is under design currently. We expect to have that going out to bid actually breaking ground sometime in June. And that project, what it's going to do is it's going to replace all the old clay sewer pipe that's in the downtown area. That's the area from Rhett Street to the Yacht Basin and from Bay Street out to Owen Street. So pretty much all those sewers are going to be replaced in the next year and a half. That'll bring me to the next point, which Tom had mentioned about the resurfacing that we're doing. We would love to be able to go out and resurface a lot of those roads in the downtown area. I know those are some of the worst in town. But with the roads going to be dug up by the sewer project, we would just be throwing money out. We would pave them, and within a couple of months they would just be dug up. So what the plan is once the sewer main project is done, they'll be paving the trench and about 1 foot on either side of the trench. And we're going to let that sit for about 6 months to a year and then come in and start paving it. The reason we're waiting is to allow the compaction of that trench to fully work in, so we don't pave the street right away and then have a depression where you can see that storm where the sewer line was replaced. So those are two things right there. Another project I'm working on is we received a grant to map our stormwater system. Right now, we don't currently have an up-to-date map of the stormwater system, and this will have a consultant is coming in, and they're mapping the entire system, and they're going to model it. By modeling it, they're going to run different design rainstorms through that to see where choke points are in the system, and then after that is done, we're going to develop a capital improvement plan for the stormwater system to eliminate those choke points and hopefully eliminate a lot of the nuisance flooding that we have in town. It's not going to relieve hurricane flooding, but your normal rain events, that kind of stuff, it should eliminate that. Another project that I'm working on, which is the consultant is just wrapping up now, is we're doing a survey of all the city buildings. And by survey, we're looking at the roof, we're looking at the HVAC system, the electrical system, the plumbing system, is there asbestos in the building? Is there lead paint? Are the windows up to speed? Do they need to be replaced? So a consultant is coming in and doing that whole thing, and through that we'll also develop an evaluation plan and a capital improvement plan for what to do and how to improve the buildings and keep them up to code and from deteriorating to the point that we need to spend millions of dollars to tear it down and replace it. Last project that we have going on is we have a lead survey, a lead service survey, and that comes from the EPA. They issued lead rulings years ago, and we're responsible for finding out where all our lead in the system is. So we're going through and looking for lead service lines that are on the city side. We're also, in your next water bill, you're going to be getting a flyer attached to it about the program. And what we want is for, on the customer side, which is everything from the meter along the curb of the street into the house is the customer's responsibility. We want you to go look and see what that service pipe is made of. And there is a section on the city website for the lead service program. And there'll also be a form that you can fill out with what your service is. So those are the major things that I'm working on, and I will turn it over to Ellie.
I'm Ellie Pittenger. I'm the electrical superintendent for the city of Southport. Primarily, I liaison with the city's electrical contractor, Brunswick Electric, over routine operations and maintenance and emergency repairs of the city's power grid as outlined in the electrical O&M contract. I always keep aware of infrastructure growth and critical demands on the substation and keep up to date on industry trends and safety issues. I oversee operation of the load management system during electrical peak periods and maintain the load management network infrastructure, which includes proper configuration of control switches, installation and reconnection of switches, and continually monitor customers for compliance, enforcing general statutes and program protocols. I work with the electrical contractor regarding metering to ensure accuracy of data input into our billing system. I audit residential and commercial metering to ensure proper billing and revenue recovery and maintain an inventory of job-related tools and safety equipment. I often assist power agency personnel with routine and emergency maintenance of commercial demand meters and telemetric generator controls. I often assist customers' energy use concerns by performing residential and commercial energy audits, and including the assistance of commercial demand customers with generator or utility service concerns, and schedule seasonal home energy surveys with power agency representatives. I also submit annual energy and revenue data to the Federal Department of Energy's reporting system and maintain spreadsheets to support that data, which also I also use that to keep track of semi-annual and fiscal data. The main thing I'm working on, we're working on right now, is the undergrounding of all of the west side from Bay Street on up to St. George, which includes from Howe all the way out beyond Burrington, because some of those, I think it's St. George that goes out continually and runs behind, parallels West Street and goes behind the marina. It has come up, one of the questions that's come up was, didn't we underground Lord Street a few years ago? We did. We undergrounded all the residences on Lord Street a few years ago. And the reason we're putting another primary down Lord Street is to feed all of the other east and west streets. And when we get to West Street, that portion is on track. We're looking at the end of the year to finish up with Lord Street. Then we'll start on West Street, and we'll not only feed all the residences up and down West Street, but we'll also be feeding all the north and south running streets. And that's about all I have. David?
How's it going? My name's David Kelly, the ground supervisor. There's 8 of us in the department, including myself. We do all the parks. There's 7 of them. We do the right-of-ways. We mow, weed eat, street signs, stop signs. There's 58 miles of right-of-ways. We do the playgrounds. There's 3 playgrounds. We check the mulch for the depth to make sure it's in compliance. We check the equipment. We put up Christmas decorations. We go around town, edge the sidewalks, rent a lift once a year and go down every block and make sure that the limbs are 14 feet so fire trucks, ambulances, and big trucks doesn't hit our trees. We clean up after hurricanes. We mow, weed eat, blow. Pretty much everything you do in your yard, we do in the parks, along with other areas in the city. I'm also the vector control mosquitoes. I spray in the city. The chemical we use now is PCT 3+15. That's what I put in the chemical sprayer that's in the back of the truck. It's a ULV. And then we also have tablets, T30 tablets, that we put in ditches to kind of kill the larvae before they turn into mosquitoes. And if y'all have any questions, I'll answer the best I can when this is over. But I'm going to take it to Mike now.
Hi, I'm Mike, Public Works Supervisor. I am the fog program officer, which I go to restaurants and make sure they got grease traps and make sure that they're, yeah. Damn, I don't know what I was going to say.
Check the grease traps.
Yeah, check them, make sure they're cleaning them like they should so they won't go down into our sewer lines and cause blockages. I do that periodically. It goes from 1 week, every week, to every 6 months. Depends on how big your restaurant is. We also do, I got 6 guys under me. We do water repair, sewer repairs, go out and do blockages if somebody calls, get them unblocked. I do cameraing for the sewer line to see what some of our sewer looks like, if we need to replace it. I got 22 pump stations that we take care of. We get in there and clean them so everything runs smoothly. Storm drain cleanings we do, try to make everything run smoothly. Fix stop signs, street signs, and road repair, road patches. We try to go and fix sinkholes, and that's about it.
So most of us have a laundry list of things we do that we haven't spoke about. Sometimes I think we do so much we don't even know what we do. But I did, both of myself and Tom Z passed this post-it note around, and we both forgot about it. But another major project that's been, it's been kind of a pet peeve of mine since I started working here is we have 3 lift stations that we're in design right now with a consultant. 3 of our 1974 Gorman-Rupp vacuum assist lift stations. They were in design right now to be replaced to submersible lift stations, and those are the Moore Street, the Ninth Street, and the Park Avenue Extension lift stations. So that's another really huge project we have going on, and that is also 100% grant money. And like I said, it's in design right now. Hopefully to go out for bid next year. So we will definitely entertain any questions you may have, and we'll give it to Cheyenne.
There's nothing in the ETJ. Everything that's being surveyed is the entire of the city limits. Everything in the city limits is being surveyed. Nothing outside of the limits or the ETJ.
Like all the
Correct. Anything within the city limits. They're going into the HOAs and everything. I'm actually pulling the plans together that I can find for, the HOA developments to get them over to the consultant so they can incorporate them into it.
And is there a schematic timetable schedule?
It's
Where, or is that still being?
everything is scheduled to be completed, project done and everything, and we start working on the capital list by September of next year. It's about a 4 or 5 month period for them just to go out and map everything, because they have to physically walk every system and all that. And then at the same time, they're looking at the condition of the pipe. When that's done, then there's another 2 or 3 months of compiling all that together, creating the map, and then start running the models of the system. And after that, it's about a month to 2 months to prepare the report for us and get us all the maps and everything. So.
Great. Not to pick on you, Tom, but back at the February Symposium, Bonnie talked about that when the new city engineers came online, one of the things they were going to do was a paving schedule, that there is no 5-year, 10-year plan on paving. Is that in process? Is that complete? Is it posted on the website?
No, it's not posted on the website or anything. Part of the reason for that is with the amount of sewer work that's going to be done in town, it's hard to create any kind of long-term paving list, because we're going to be tearing up, almost 3 miles worth of, or more than, it's about 4 miles worth of road that we're going to be tearing up for sewer work just on that replacement project. Then with the I&I program, and all the things that they may find, there's a secondary part to the I&I program, which is a Find It, Fix It, where they'll actually be going out and making spot repairs throughout town. So we're kind of waiting on at least the Find It and Fix It to be done before we start compiling the list. Because like I said earlier, we don't want to go and pave a street and then 2 months later it's dug up, because we're going to get so many phone calls about, why are you wasting money? Why are you wasting money? And it's a pet peeve of mine to finish paving a road, and then a month later there's this little 4x4 patch because something happened. So it's being compiled, but it's in its infancy because of these sewer projects. When I first came on board back in February, I was all gung-ho to do it, and then as I started seeing all these projects we have going on, I was kind of like, you know what, let's pump the brakes on this, let's get all this going, and then get into it. Basically, I ran some rough numbers, and to pretty much pave every street in town is going to cost us about $10 million. If we wanted to do that on a 10-year cycle, you're talking about $1 million a year that needs to go into the budget every year to get that done. And that would pave everything over a 10-year period. Now, with saying that, the life expectancy of pavement is between 20 and 30 years. So let's call it 25. From being in town and driving around town, I'm going to say there's maybe one road that's less than 25 years old that's been paved within the past 25 years, and that's House Street, which was done 3 years ago. So we are behind the 8 ball in trying to get this up to speed. But it's going to take money to get it done.
And mention how much power.
Oh, and this is the killer in the whole thing. So if we wanted to do the repaving over a 10-year period, it would be about $1 million of today's money each year. We receive from the state to pave streets every year about $150,000 to $160,000. So if we were to use just Powell bill money to pave the roads, it would take us 67 years to pave everything. So we're working on it. I'd love to do it. I'd pave the planet, you know. I love paving.
Start the clock on the 67 years. Thank you, Tom.
let's do this in two parts. First part, let's address the 4th of July. Thank you for the compliment and this motivation, because I tell these guys ever since I've been here, the quicker we get cleaned up on the 5th, the quicker everybody goes home. So, but no, the street sweeper, right now, the street sweeper sweeps the majority of the downtown area, downtown and House Street. I guess we call it the central business district. It's typically anything that has a curb on it, for the most part. They did Bay Street, some of Bay Street, Yacht Basin. We started doing Yacht Basin because of the amount of sand. Westmore and Eastmore up to Rhett Street, House Street, all the way to Stewart Avenue, some of Nash, East Nash from the churches, there's parts of Caswell that are curbed, and then throughout the days, you know, if you see a street that's got some sand on it or debris, it may have been from a utility repair, he'll slide through and sweep those up as well. Part of the street sweeping process, one of my guys who isn't here today, Tyrus Davis, he's also a utility locator. He's a sole locator who locates every single drop utility, water sewer utility that the city has for like road construction. You know, when someone calls NC 811, he's the guy who does that. And believe it or not, especially with the NC 211 road widening project, that has almost become a job for 2 people. So he really stays on that and hasn't done a whole lot of outside extra street sweeping. But, you know, we'll see how things come in the next upcoming months with you know, the potential utility merger. There may be a whole lot of extra street sweeping coming abroad. But anytime someone, hey, you can call us in and put a request. If you see something we don't see, we'll be glad to get out there and, you know, scoop something up for you. Mainly, weekly, I would say that's the weekly schedule, the city streets that are curbed, downtown area. Not saying it can't be used otherwise. The street sweeper is capable to sweep every city in the, every street in the city. It's capable of doing so. He doesn't hit often, but like I said, we don't see everything that everybody else does, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, if you have a request or concern, you can certainly call and we can get it scheduled to get so. We'll dodge the speed bumps, of course. We'll just dodge those areas. We can get in between it for sure.
Second question, ATMC, which is now, I guess, Focus, they're not in Southport. Is that like how is that determined? Because they have like optic for the internet, which is supposed to be a really good advantage. And, you know, I've called them a few times and they're not in the city. Or maybe they're in part of the city, I don't know. I'm curious about that as well.
The city purchases electricity from the North Carolina Eastern Municipal Power Agency, also known as Electricities. Brunswick Electric does our O&M and metering and billing. So, and we have a 5-year contract from them, and our contract with Electricities goes up to 2026 or 2032 or something like that. I'm sorry, what?
Is that typical for your smaller towns and cities to, because I know we moved from Charlotte years ago, but, you know, our bill would come directly from
Right, and then Duke would maintain your lines. The city of Southport is a member of 32 cities that make up the power agency with electricities.
And I will take the focus question, because that's not them. So the Board of Aldermen just agreed to allow Focus to build up-to-date equipment that will actually be going on a piece of city property. It's going to probably take, I'm guessing here, 4 to 5 months to actually get that in place, and then they will be able to offer internet and everything like that to the city, because that is really the most high-tech, up-to-date equipment that Focus will have. The other thing that Focus is helping us with is Wi-Fi. So we will have Wi-Fi downtown and all the parks. So in especially like July 4th, when nobody's cell phones work, that's going to be a huge improvement. And so as a part of that, we received a grant, and they're going to be putting Wi-Fi in the parks and all through downtown. So just give it a bit, because it's going to take some time, but they're coming.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for attending. This was, again, like super informative. We appreciate you being here. Over the last 10 months while we've had these symposiums with our various departments, this was the last one for 2023. We are looking forward to continuing it into the new calendar year, but we're looking at some different formats instead of a monthly symposium. Might be a little different. So keep an eye on the city website and social media for that, because that is where that will be updated first. And on your way out, if you'll scan the QR code, let us know your feedback, because that will be taken into consideration heavily whenever we're looking at how to do this in the 2024 calendar year. As Ellie mentioned, there are some little giveaways over on the table, and then you can also look at the smoke testing map as well. So thank you again for coming.
There are a few other maps over there. There's our sewer, if you're wondering where the sewer placement is going to take place, we have a map over there that shows every line that's proposed to be replaced. That'll give you a better idea as well. Anybody's interested